Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. It's the final game of the night for the first night of SCS close or open qualifier number 2. I'm joined by Yali now. Sirius filled in on the last one, and Yali is now with me for the final game to close off the night. We're casting Monsters Inc. versus Overture Gaming. Both teams sitting at 9 and 10 on our current standings, and 2-1 record for each team. They're looking to propel themselves to 3-1 and get themselves ultimately into closed qualifiers, which will take place on Friday. Yali, how are you doing tonight? Oh, well, Yali might be muted, but sounded like she was doing good. Something about these rosters was being said, but well, while we're getting some technical difficulties fixed on out, how about we go take a look at some of the other streams and the other matches that are being taken on here tonight. Six Karma versus Deprived. Both teams 4-0 undefeated on Nerd Street are Six Deprived with an upset win over Reality TV. Six Karma, a Mexican Pro League team, and they've looked very hot in these qualifiers. On Super's channel, Riz Academy and Reality TV. Those matches will go ahead and take place. Riz Academy obviously being led off by Nixon, Mr. B on the other side for Reality TV. So two really awesome games going on there. We're a little bit lower down the bracket, but that's okay. Definitely two really fun teams to go watch. I believe Yali hopefully has her mic set up on SFC, obviously where we are now. Monsters Inc. versus Overture.
Yeah, Monsters Inc. versus Overture. That's two teams pretty excited to cast these two, obviously 9th and 10th respectively. And they decided to go to a map. I'm not entirely certain what that map is, so let's go ahead and have a quick look at what they decided to ban. Their map. Starting us off, we have Skyscraper.
Well, a lot of bands of Skyscraper. I think we actually wanted to check out our rosters first. Maybe if we can go back there. Okay. Well, we're gonna fix the map bands. We're running around fixing everything. So Border, Skyscraper both fall. Bank and Clubhouse also fall shortly after, and Cafe Theme Park to go away as we let the rest of the band phase roll on out. We're heading to Villa, so back-to-back Villa games on the B stream, but honestly, I'm not disappointed. It's nice to see Villa here and there and again and again.
Villa's gonna be a very fun map for us to be able to cast. Obviously, it's gonna be, at least last time we saw it as a pretty defender-sided option, and so this time we're hoping, well, Monsters Inc. is hoping, rather, I should say, that it's going to continue to be that way as they are starting out on defense. Overture Gaming has an opportunity to turn that around, though, and after all, we are in a bit of an attacker-sided defense.
Most definitely. These rosters consist of, on the outside of Overture, Snows, Pool, Slinky, Snoopy, and Dunny. At least that's what it is listed on OPL. On the other side for Monsters Inc., well, they're facing off against Sta, Native, Placata, Doug, HUD, and Evil Cloud. So I know I listed 6, so one of those guys are not playing. It's more than likely Doug, I would imagine, since they play for HK Rebels, if I'm not wrong. But the other 5 should be here in the lobby. Obviously, we've found ourselves into the match now. Monsters Inc. taking out Knock first.
Being here with Knock Band, that's going to be pretty influential. That's going to prevent a lot of bottom-up play, especially through the basement area. But, of course, there's going to be options. They can use any other 3 speed. That will probably still be rather effective. Floors as well coming off the board, meaning that Thatcher and Jackal are both going to be on the board. So there's going to be some opportunity to clear utility that way, but as far as anything that requires an explosive to destroy, that's going to stay up. The Zombie is well off the board, so that leaves potentially Valkyrie up, which could be incredibly influential just given the fact that I think it's around 70% of the flooring on this map is destructible. So vertical C4s are going to be in play. Valkyrie is off, but that does leave Mira, who a lot of times tends to be pretty powerful when used to hold either trophy or study. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those different map bans, or rather operator bans, affect the way that these two teams play against each other.
More than likely, it'll be very similar to last matchup that we watched between Oblock and Phantom Legion. The same ban phase went on through Nook, then Flores, then Azami, then Valkyrie in the exact same order. So Villa continuing to play out in the same manner as we saw just once before. Instead, though, Trophy Statuary will be the first bomb set that we head to, unlike the previous matchup where O Block elected to go kitchen dining first. It's the same side of PLG as well. They also elected to go kitchen dining as their primary bomb set.
Trophy and Statue is not that surprising to see as a primary. I believe, actually, in terms of defender win rate, it does have the highest defender win rate when we're talking about Pro League. Obviously, we're non-Pro League here. This is SCS open qualifiers, so anyone could be in here. That being said, we are here with some of the top teams, at least for the so far today. So seeing them come here makes a lot of sense, at least statistically. Bringing the ops that they've brought, the Abdicate, as well as the Wamai. We see those quite often. Wamai often to form some sort of impact breaking or find an extent. This horizontal extension as well can be very powerful, but it looks like the attack is opting to go or completely around it. Just ignore it.
They found themselves here pool directly on the master balcony, trying to challenge out these defenders. Aruni is still playing here in master, trying to get some of these vertical angles. Snoopy seems to be aware of it. The information is here from pool, and the nade will try to come on through, but they overstep their bounds, and Clouds is able to find the toes of Snoopy, brings down the Yana, and along with the Yana goes the set of grenades.
One set of grenades off the board is not going to be too much of a problem for them. Yes, they are playing a bit of play, but Snows does still have some grenades in his pocket, as well as some other destruction, and as well that cheeky angle Sleeky finding native. That's going to be one pick back in the direction of the attackers. Now we find ourselves back in an even position. A few more cheeky angles, though, being taken over by some of the defenders, and they're hoping they can find something off of that. Meanwhile, Snow's looking for some depth charges, but nothing successful so far.
Some of those dry grenades heading out from the lower floor as Snows begins to make their way over towards Astro. They've spotted this horror floor angle made here by the Kaid and might be able to do so, but Snows is going to get a free grenade on the Placade. It's just too easy to read into that as now they've made their way all the way up the Astro stairs, and a lot of control has been gathered here for Overture Gaming. Pool able to bring down Clouds and plenty of time left on the clock to make some sort of push happen. Stella, though, with the flank on Astro Stairs, will be able to find Snows. Misses a few shots, but is finally able to finish them off. Astro Repel is something that Stella will have to worry about, as now they've been locked out as the only defender left, but they're not aware of the player on the Astro Repel, and Dunny simply gets a free kill there as, well, the rest of the defense follows, and Overture Gaming, they will win round number 1.
That round rather seemed pretty even starting us off until that nade pick came up from below. That was a situation where Cade more or less was relying on his opponents not to do their job, not to be looking at the ceiling, and especially on a map like Villa, they're probably going to be looking at the ceiling. So he ultimately lost his life for that in an attempt to take it back. Another member of the defense lost their life, and so that left them in a 2v4, and while Sta did the right thing looking for an aggressive pick back to hopefully try and even out the man count, ultimately it wasn't successful, especially because it didn't seem like Wamai was quite on board with it. He wasn't able to get aggressive, put himself into a better position than what he was in before off of what Sta was doing, and just kind of left Sta alone and, well, in a very uncomfortable position. Coming up those Astro stairs with the player on the Astro window, it's just never going to work out in your favor.
Unfortunately, they, well, fell short there. Overture takes the first attacking round, rather, and good for them on a trophy statuary. That typically can be a tricky site to attack, and sometimes will levy its way into the defender's palms, but I think their attack strategy just worked out perfectly for how Monsters Inc. was holding their defense there of Trophy Statuary. Obviously, plenty of grenades from below, as although they lost the opening pick to Evil Clouds, well, the rest of the picks came with ease for Overture. A little bit of time has expired here in the round, but not too much. Plenty of action remains as the attack finally finding their way on in through Master Bedroom and attacking into the bomb site they once were attacking last round, but of course the task of taking on Aviator Games.
Aviator Games, once again, a site that can be attacked vertically, and it looks like they want to do a little bit of a combination here because there is at least a little bit of a hold on top red. That's always going to be a contentious area in or around involving this site, or really any site on Villa. Now, if they're able to get some players in below, hopefully they can dislodge any sort of presence that's there or along that short 90 hall, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot in their way. Rather, instead, the defenders are going to be relying on Native here, looking for an aggressive late play to hopefully find their early advantage. It's still 5-5 with a minute and a half, and one of these teams is going to have to break sooner or later, and there it is. Placata finds the first, and Nade doesn't kill Evil Clouds, burns him up a little bit with the Goyo it catches, but another Nitro Cell finds another attacker, and suddenly the defenders are in a huge advantage.
Things are falling apart here for the Overture attack. Snoopy tried to throw that nade from below, but, well, if you do stand on an object in the proper fashion, you'll be able to stay away from some of that shrapnel and fragmentation of that grenade. Dunny has made their way into the 90 hallway, and, well, there's no more hard breach on the board, so you're not able to open up that vault wall and get that extra sight line into the objective. Placata and the Goyo of, as I move my camera out of the way, Native are working on this bottom main hole, but to contest them soon, I believe, is the Twitch of Snows. They're looking to get aggressive here with this gunfight on the bottom mid stairs. Instead, going to run away, but maybe a fake out as they have returned back to this position. Placata will bring down Dunny. Snows not aware of the Goyo who's set themselves in library, and it's all left to Snoopy. Liana has recovered the diffuser. It's been dropped by Dunny in the 90 hallway, but with 30 seconds left on the board, 5 defenders to find, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen here this round for Overture.
Yeah, Snoopy is looking, but unfortunately his puppy dog nose can only find one thus far. Placata takes some damage straight to the skull, and that's one death on the side of the defenders, but this is likely to be for naught as the utility play, especially behind that shield leading to the final kill, has just been overwhelming on the side of Monsters Inc. during that round. They managed to find a Nitro Cell kill early on, as well as the pick by the Valkyrie, or not Valkyrie, sorry, by the Warden?
Is the Warden. Yes.
Yeah, there was an MPX. I saw the MPX and just assumed it was a Valkyrie. No, the Warden. So between those two kills, that's going to be huge. And then once you get there, all it takes is a little bit of discipline. We saw that holding that cross between the main stairs and the library, just being able to acknowledge when it's time to get aggressive, when it's not, and when it's time to just make sure you're using your utility correctly. Monsters Inc. did a very good job of that, and the utility play there was honestly superb. Points to Monsters Inc. for that one.
Yeah, well done to them as we've moved on into the next round here. Impulse being brought out here from Stu, so maybe a little bit more pressure to stop Overture from this lower take that they tried last round. You obviously saw Snoopy and plenty of other Overture attackers working their way below with those depth charge grenades. Snow's able to pick one onto the Cade with being able to spot out the vertical holes that were made by the Cade to watch the astronomy stairs. We're not able to walk up or hold that angle any further, as well, that made certainly sealed their fate. But so far, I love the adjustments from Monsters Inc. They're making adjustments. They're bringing the operators to stop Overture from doing what they want, and, well, it's not something you so commonly see between these teams.
My biggest concern is that Stu doesn't look like he has a whole lot of support down here. There is some vertical interplay occurring, but whether or not that'll be enough is a completely different question. However, just having him down here, and yeah, now with Evil Clouds as well, that's going to be a huge amount of pressure applied to the attackers because they know they have to clear them out if they want to make that same vertical take they did last time. But instead, it looks like they might be going a little bit horizontal. If they manage to get around that or get a foothold in somewhere sneaky on top red, and especially with that barricade, they might be able to do just that. They could have just created a weakness for themselves near top red. Monsters Inc. is going to have to be watching behind them, or else Overture is going to sneak up.
Well, Overture has read into this extension by Monsters Inc. And as you're saying, Yali, they've already got control all the way up to top red stairs, and that is detrimental if you are a Monsters Inc. defender. It's concerning for the attack to have so much ground already gathered in the map and so much time to play with here. Still below, so they're able to feed some of this information here on those players below. HUD will shoot out the Yana Gemini clone, but not able to do so. Snoopy trying to gain a little bit of extra information on the site. They'll run their drone on in and spot that Cade Electro Claw, which is keeping that main wall closed so far. Placata playing deep onto the split position, and Tud, in trophy. So plenty of defense still remaining, but Monsters Inc., they're still on the back foot this round.
Not a whole lot has occurred. I will say time is ticking down, and here goes the entrance. Snows finds the initial and a second. It's almost like there's no communication on the side of Monsters Inc., and suddenly he's deep in the site. One Nitro goes out for the first pick back, and that is where the plant was attempted to go down, but it's not going to be enough. Yes, the calm has occurred for a second here, but it's going to take a moment before Monsters Inc. are able to start regaining anything here. Looks like they're trying to get into the site, and they're unaware of Stud's position. He manages to find another, and they have good control of the diffuser. Another kill by Native, and now suddenly this attack is completely turned upside down. A retake by Evil Clouds, leaving 1 health on the side of the attack. Slinky has nothing and dies, walking into an Electro Claw.
No!
Wow, an attack that started so well. That's just incredible.
Oh, from the grave, even electric utility can still kill. If you just press up against that wall with such low HP, you will fall. And we saw that. It's a rare sight to see, but Slinky was brought down to such low HP. And Monsters Inc. taking their second defensive round. I really didn't think they had much in the bag there, Yali. They struggled. And they gave so much ground up to Overture. You saw Snows walk in. There was no communication from Monsters Inc., but arguably even worse communication on the side of Overture, because when it came down to them, they could not find any of the remaining defenders. The C4 popped off, and that took down Dunny, who was planting the diffuser, and all chaos went loose for Overture. They didn't know how to react. They tried to recover the diffuser, find a safe spot to plant in, but they were worried about more nitro cells from below, forcing the Habana to go to the bricks plant position where you cannot get C4 from. But guess who was already there lurking and waiting? Sta, the Pulse, somehow found their way into Master Bedroom. And if you're going to go for a statue execute, you have to have Master Control. But Snows was the only attacker with that control. So things did not pan out for Overture exactly as they expected.
This is kind of a case where Overture allowed a retake here, I think. Exactly like you said, they just weren't holding the control that they needed to. They managed to get themselves into the site, but they need to be a little bit more calm. It's like everything exploded and they started trying to push their attackers into the site. Didn't actually establish, though, that, hey, we have site control. Let's just look outwards and make sure they don't come in. Rather, instead, the defenders were able to just sneak past them and find the final picks. But regardless, we are on the next round, and Drone is looking for Evil Clouds. He's let a couple bullets fly, so they know that he's here, and this is going to be our first engagement on the round.
Well, Evil Clouds has positioned themselves sealed in the library, but plenty of good information coming from the Overture attack. Snoopy looking to be the first attacker to take on this engagement will drone out Evil Clouds with that Gemini. A C4 will come through, but it lands a little bit short of the mark as all the attackers are still allowed to remain alive. Pool will use an A sketch to open up that wall. HUD will be the first one to win the engagement on to Slinky, who falls. Clouds has left their position in library and lost that control here to the attack. Snow's trying to look for that Capcan with vertical control, so maybe the droning and presence isn't as good as we once thought it was. However, Overture Gaming has plenty of control as they look to now escalate their presence to the top floor.
A beautiful time waste by the Capcan, and then managing to bring the Legion in on top of that. I see, just very well played. And as Overture begins to establish more control on the top floor, this Mira is going to be their next target. And whether or not they're going to be able to deal with it is another question. They're not going to be able to go below to try and deal with it. After all, that's where the site is. You can't really get below there. So the Mira is going to make it difficult, but they could just put a player on the Astro window.
In theory.
In theory, yeah.
One
Whether
would.
or not they'll have the wherewithal to make sure that occurs. They are. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. And as well, continuing their push on the main floor. A lot of pressure coming in soon, and there you go. It's going to snap. Snoopy finds Sta, and that's going to be the first pick in favor of the attackers. But a beautiful Nitro Cell quickly getting traded out, and Evil Clouds finding a kill, putting us back in favor of the defenders. That being said, it was a good entry, and it established some amount of control, pushing the defenders back into some less comfortable positions. There is still going to be some
Oh, the
effort
nades
required on the
missed.
side of the attackers to find an entry onto the site.
The nades missed on that memorial wall, so it will remain closed for the rest of the round. Native will do one with the gun, but it's the cap can trap to catch the last. Dunny falls without checking their door frames, and the trap operator is able to close out the round for Monsters Inc. Great defense by them. They just simply wasted so much of Overture's time and some misinputs and misthrows of some key grenades that could have destroyed those mute jammers on the memorial wall to allow for it to open up and allow for some of those extra lines of sight. That wall remained closed.
Moving back to Aviator in games. This is a site that previously saw Monsters Inc. win, and we've seen Monsters Inc. win every site at this point. Overture, after that first round, not seeming to find any success so far. And honestly, I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that Monsters Inc. is reading into them pretty well. They figured out Overture wants to go for some of these cheeky plays, and when it comes down to it, their swings are a little bit less coordinated, and Monsters Inc. is able to just pick them apart one by one and isolate the attackers. So looks like their plan is going to be to do the same thing, especially with Native playing all the way out here. Evil Cloud's on the main stairs. Yeah, this is looking to be like a less traditional round and something where Monsters Inc. looks to, or wants to, pick apart the attackers one by one.
Some of the Overture utility has already been found. Pool's drone, the hard support, the ace, losing one of their two precious little mechanical bits of utility. I don't know a good word to use for a drone, but
Informational.
yeah, informational. There we go. He's only got one now, and it's actually in study already, which is a little concerning considering usually the hard support it will drone their teammates in across the map, but there's this mute Mozzie denial combination, native and HUD. Both able to deny drones from going any further. HUD hasn't even placed down all of their mute jammers. They may not need to. Only one attacker on this side of the map. It's Snoopy. Their drone will spot out HUD potentially as Native is looking to get aggressive. A nade will come from below for Slinky to try to clear this player off of the deployable shield on the map table. I believe it will go away, and, well, I'll have to run away from that position as well. Native getting outside. Too aggressive is Native as Dunny has joined their teammate on the master balcony now and will take down the Mozik for the first pick of the round.
Are there any defenders on the site right now? Oh, yes, there are. Okay, they've returned. But for a moment there, I'm pretty sure all 5 defenders had moved their way away from the site, and now that they're down players, they've all consolidated a little bit. Yes, they've wasted a minute and a half, but they have a body to recover, which is going to require some level of aggressive play. Last time we came to the site, we saw them do well with their utility, but that utility isn't exactly the same this time. Yes, they have the Nitro. If they manage to place that well, it's going to be important for them, but the shield up on that maps table that was incredibly influential during the last round is no more. That's going to be a lot of utility that Monsters Inc. doesn't have that they had last time, and now down a man as well. All it's really going to take here is Overture wisely placing their positions, their players, and finding the picks and trades. And there goes another one. Dunny finding it. I'm not going to say that was the greatest position he would have gotten traded if it went back the other way, but it's still a pick in the favor of Overture, and possibly, if Overture plays this wisely, the round sealed.
Overture is favorably in the go-ahead for this round as 40 seconds remain for them to execute onto the bomb site. Still 2 gas grenades in pocket, though, for Stella, as one of those gets expelled there on the map's door, denying any attacker entry. Snoopy's found their way into 90, so they'll continue to hold their rear flank as Snows has made their way on a steady balcony. All of the elements are in the picture for Overture to go for this execute, and that is what is going to kick it off right there. Snows gets that pick on a Placata, which yields study control here for the attackers. Stella will bring down Pool and HUD, fighting for their life in bar. The diffuser has been dropped on the floor, though. Snows will bring one down. Stella brings down the man with the diffuser in hand. Snows able to take down the last player. The smoke will end up falling away in Vault, so a great attack by Overture and a good bounce back round for them overall.
3-2, moving on to the 6th round. Monsters Inc. have one more round to hopefully turn this into a defender-sided half. But after that round, I'm not entirely convinced. It seems like Monsters Inc. maybe got a little bit overzealous. Like I said, they want to get aggressive and try and isolate the attackers, but they forgot that there's an objective that they have to play too. They have time on their side. I think Monsters Inc. is going to go into this final round with that awareness, but Overture Gaming is totally and completely prepared to punish Monsters Inc. if they did not learn from that last round.
Monsters Inc. got their last defensive hold here. It's on Trophy Statuary. Has some decent history of this site so far. They've won it both times they've attempted, I believe.
They
Or no,
lost it
I'm
the
wrong.
first time and won
They
it the
lost
second.
it the first, they won it the second with that retake where they honestly had no business winning that, and Overture just kind of let them rotate in the master, and it was really the positioning of the pulse, being able to get around and wrap and then gain that control back. That was huge for the Monsters Inc. defense as the round starts and kicks off. Monsters Inc. They're electing to rotate downstairs again. No pulse this time, though. So a little bit different of a defense yet again.
This adjustment, I think, could potentially speak to what they want to do. Yes, without the pulse, they're going to be a little bit less stuck downstairs, if you will. They have a little bit more mobility. They don't have a player that's going to be primarily tied to playing below the attackers, and so without that player, that operator that's going to be stuck there, they are going to have some adaptability available to them later on in the round, especially, and that makes sense to me to make that change. You won the last round effectively off of retake, so as the attackers begin to find their way in, Monsters Inc. wants to read them and are already starting to pull back towards the side.
Well, the first Lion EE1D will go through, finding their way through the study side of the map and kind of taking the opposite across, as per usual on Villa. Very common type of execute and attacking plan. Slinky, though. This door has been opened to the bomb site. Slinky might be able to catch a defender off guard, but no, they've decided to shoot away some bullets and expose their positioning. They might have been able to just get away with a free one walking on into the bomb site and even catch one of those defenders off guard. Instead, they elect to fire away, maybe land one with a pre-fire. Does not end up going in that manner.
There is a shield in the way that they're going to be attempting to take care of. Looks like they want to get it from below. There is a player down there, so there could be a confrontation not going to happen. A nade goes up, catches that shield. It's going to be huge, making it much more difficult to play inside of the trophy. But HUD decides to do so anyway, and Slinky really wants this engagement. But led down range, not going to find anything yet. Instead, Stuh, the player downstairs, is going to drop to Snows, leaving a space for two players on Overture Gaming to look for aggressive positioning and stairs, potentially even the Astro stairs. Evil Clouds, though, he knows that that's what they're going to be going for. He goes down, and while he has been spotted out, he does lose his life as well. Overture Gaming is looking very confident on this, and they need to find an aggressive pick here. 5-3 with 40 seconds left is not favorable, and Placata cannot land his bullets. He knows where he's coming, though, and another firefight ensues. Placata stuck in Astro, as he knows this is the most important part of the map for this map control. He gives this up, that's going to be it, and Snoopy knows he's there. HUD as well taking another engagement. Placata can't lose his life. Snoopy finds one, but Placata loses his. Native finds one. And now we find ourselves in a 2v3, but with Astro control it's going to be more difficult. But two more kills coming out from the defenders, and rather one kill and one down, and another by HUD. A round that didn't look theirs, suddenly brought back by the beautiful shots of Snows and HUD. Well done by the defense of Monsters Inc.
Somehow, those last two defenders just clawed back 5 kills. They found the rest of the Overture attack, and well, huge props to Stuh and Nate, or who is HUD? I think it was Stuh and HUD.
Yep.
Who just tore apart the Overture attack. And again, more qualms for Overture attacking Trophy Statuary. It might be a bomb site they want to go back and look at. 4-2 split, though, for Monsters Inc. as we flop sides, and Overture will have their turn at defending the bomb sites here on Villa. And, well, their first stop is Aviator Games. A default map shield will be placed, and a fairly standard defense here from Overture.
I'd like to point out the attacking side, where their hard breach has just opted to change for a Ying.
Yeah.
This may be a bit of a standard
Normal
defense, but yeah, completely standard attack as well. Honestly, Ying is these Ying pushes can get pretty often. We see them, you know, it definitely happens. It's not something that's completely unheard of, and especially with 3 players playing all the way on the north side of the map, something straight through study could be pretty potent, I think. I can't quite make out where they're coming from. Yeah, it looks like they are going to come from the north side of the map, so they might just be using it to take map control incrementally, or they might be looking to take this a little more aggressively. Only time will tell.
There's actually no Heartbreaks gadget being brought out by any of the Monsters Inc. attackers, meaning there's no extra avenues into the bomb site. You can only walk in through doorways or maybe any holes that those defenders will make for you. Sta here on the study balcony is looking to get aggressive and has the diffuser in hand and in pocket. A very slow and stale attack, I would say, from Monsters Inc. because they're still outside and on repels, just waiting for Overture to rotate into their grasps. Placata might be able to find the Goyo here. In 90 will do so. Dunny will fall, and the Vector as well now onto the floor of 90 hallway as a minute has elapsed, and sitting on windows so far is working here for the Monsters Inc. attack. Snows will get a response on the Evil Cloud, so effectively a trade as the Goyo C4 goes away, and so do the nades for the attack.
But that 90 window position proving to be just as powerful as ever. Pole loses their life. The same player. Now Sta getting on a drone. He does not know that Snows is right there. What a beautiful aggressive play, evening the man count back up. And really, I have to question what happened there. You have a Ying. You have all the players in position. You're not letting your defending players move back from the north side of the map. And you just don't execute on it. Yes, you managed to find 2 kills, but with the Ying, you really need to be getting in there because she's going to be way more effective as soon as she's inside the building, along with the rest of your operators. Now we find ourselves in a 3v3 that could very easily go in the favor of either of these sides, and Snoopy is the one who is likely to be the first to fall if one of them does, but he finds a beautiful shot onto HUD. Wow, and while the trade does go out, Snoopy and Snows are solo. Native looks away, nearly loses his own life. And now the attackers are looking to try and get together because they need to isolate these players. Instead, the defenders have found themselves together. And there you are, Placata on the 4K, looking for the ace. Snoopy has 1 bullet left, but he has the Mossberg. He has an opportunity to find this ace. He's using his utility to his advantage so he can try and get onto the site and plant. But it is a mute. He has a shotgun. He has the SMG-11, so there's plenty of guns, plenty of bullets in his hands to find this. And while the plant is going to go down, Snoopy knows more or less where. He finds the shots. He lines them up. He knows where he is, but it's not going to happen yet. Placata needs this. He has plenty of bullets. He has 19 left to make that 12, but not going to be enough to find the shots, and he makes his way out to Skull, looking for a more passive position. He knows all he has to do is take some time. Yes, the ace would be nice, and especially now that he's been found out, a gunfight is surely going to happen. But Snoopy is going to try and long-arm it. Placata has reloaded. Snoopy is going to stick it. He's pushing. And the swing happens. Snoopy finds it. And that is going to be the clutch from Snoopy. The defenders take it. Placata is denied the ace. And the diffuser on the ground is no longer functioning. Overture Gaming find the first round of their defensive half.
Snoopy just played that one better. Stuck on the diffuser for as long as possible. Waited to the last second. Gave Placata too much confidence that that diffuser was going to continue to be stuck and ended up punishing them. Placata falls, and so does that ace opportunity. One of the first aces we would have seen for qualifier number 2. We saw a plethora in qualifier number 1. Maybe not so much here in qual number 2 is Overture Gaming. They're able to claw a way around that I don't think they really should have been able to get away with. They were 1 HP, those last 2 defenders of Pool and I believe Snows, the last 2, and well, they fell short and they ended up winning that round. Pool with a great clutch, and Monsters Inc. not able to catch that one away. Placata had a lot of great frags there. Honestly, just from the 90 window, and that spells disastrous here for Overture if you're just going to allow yourselves to get picked off frequently here by Monsters Inc. just sitting on repels and running around the map too much. Maybe that shows a little too much antsiness in the defense here. But overall, Overture, good job getting that round.
And Monsters Inc. as well, I think, had a little bit of a failure on their part. They had good positioning and failed to execute off of it. Didn't know what map control they had. Perhaps a lack of communication occurred. But that being said, we are now on the next round. It's 4-3 in favor of Monsters Inc., the attacking team. And they are looking for a bit of an aggressive play. No vertical for them. Well, maybe a little bit, but Snows looking... Oh, this is not the side I thought it was. I was not well, in any case,
we're
there's
in
gonna be
trophy.
a little bit of... Yeah, we're in trophy. We're in trophy, and Native coming up from the basement is going to be the first person looking to take an engagement, or perhaps just toss a nade into the right direction.
Both teams on their attack seem to get some early control established relatively quickly, as a nade will come on through not to find anything but a deployable shield which has been placed as almost a bait by the defense. It would have yielded some extra help for any attackers going through bathrooms, so it seems like that will be the play here for Monsters Inc. as a direct take, as you don't see too much of an extension there on the main side of the map. Placado, though, on the main stairs, tasked with trying to cut off some of these rotations, will bring down Snoopy. However, Native has made their way up the lower red stairs and tries to catch Snoopy on their own. Snoopy, though, still remains alive, and a problem here for the Monsters Inc. attack.
Snoopy, a powerful contender during the last round. Just hanging out here, knows that if he plays his time, he's going to have a teammate there. Takes out Native and stuff, does find a kill back, and it's onto the smoke nonetheless, but 2 for 1 is still 2 guns for 1. And so that's going to be an advantage in favor of Overture Gaming. But,
oh no, it's crumbling. It's falling apart. You can't team kill your own teammates. You just can't do that. It's falling apart. It's left down to Slinky now. He's in a 2v1. They will bring down Sta, so well, from the 1v3, they brought him down and made it a little bit easier. Now they know the location of HUD, so maybe Slinky can win this out. They might actually be aware of both of the attackers and where they are. They've seen, or at least they seem to have information on the Sledge who's made their way through bathroom, but Clouds will take the swing and end up winning that fight, eliminating a round win for Overture. As well, Team Kill Qualms will end up punishing them and allowing Monsters Inc. to get away with that one.
Monsters Inc. is now 5-3, and we're moving on to Dining Room Kitchen. A little bit of confusion in the chat as to what happened. Heard barbed and swung. Wow. That's pretty impressive. But in any case,
sometimes that just happens. Sometimes, like, as a player, you'll have a moment where you're like, you shoot the first thing that you see, and it doesn't matter if it's a teammate or someone else because you're not sure of like positioning of people. I've definitely done that. I actually had a moment the other day in ranked when I was on cafe, and someone like stepped into J bar and they were like in sight, and then they walked into J bar and I was getting a call that someone was flanking red or something. For some reason, I turned over to like the J bar. I ended up just fucking destroy it didn't matter who it was. They were dying. Right? It didn't matter if it was a bad guy, good guy, didn't matter. They were dying. But sometimes those moments happen. Maybe it was one of those moments. Maybe people was like, huh, Dunny, gotcha. Who knows? But Dunny ended up falling, and well, the Jaeger, the 416C, it's a powerful weapon. It's something that definitely could have been useful in aiding Overture around win. Instead, Monsters Inc. with the advantage.
Dunny is going to be well aware of what this push is going to look like. He has brought the Pulse, the classic operator, and this is going to be a pretty direct take. Master Control is going to be the first goal of Monsters Inc., and if they're able to take control of that, then vertical pressure is soon to follow. That being said, there are going to be a few things in the way, including some head holes on the triple wall that's going to be slowing them down, and getting themselves into Astro is going to be very important. If they're able to take control of Bathroom, though, that could do a lot of damage, but with this Pulse below lurking and with the C4 in pocket, who knows how long any sort of control they have is actually going to last.
Wall begins to get cracked on open as Overture Gaming. They've gotten to kitchen dining now and trying to hold on to this bomb set. They've only won one defense so far, and well, hopefully they'll be able to win this one as well. The IQ and Dunny, Native and Dunny, both having a stare down of each other right now. Snows will fall. So already 1 C4 off the board. Dunny won't be able to ping a spot for that mute to be able to throw it. Snows won't be able to throw that C4 and potentially get a kill off of it. Instead, Native and Dunny will still continue to have this stare down as the Pulse tries to gather as much information on where these attackers do sit. And, well, the attackers will do just the same as they've droned out the Pulse and know their location as well.
It has been 1 minute. It's been over 1 minute and 30 seconds, and there's not an attacker in the building.
Nope. Nothing's happened.
Nothing has happened other than the fact that there are only 4 drones left on the side of the attackers, and beautiful pick from Sta. They've managed to find 2 at this point. So that could be enough to turn the tides rather in their favor for Monsters Inc. to hopefully find another round here. Now, that being said, HUD does find himself on the ground, Snoopy finding a pick, and Native is looking for the aggression. Whether or not his team will be able to act on it is another question. Native is right next to Tinky, and he manages to find that.
I
He
knew it was
walks
gonna
into the
happen.
site, but straight through a cap can trap. Evil Clouds manages to find Dunny, leaving Snoopy in a 1v3. He has found one before, but not this time. Sta, with the second on the round, cleans it up, and it's 6-3 in favor of Monsters, Inc.
I saw the Capcan trap, like I saw the Capcan pick, and I just knew. I just knew there were Capcan traps at the China door. I knew the IQ was going to lose it right after they walked on in, and that's exactly what happened. And well, and you don't, hesitate to pull out your scanner gadget as IQ and being able to see electronics, then you're not going to see those Capcan traps, maybe. Or, well, if you just use your eyes, you'll see them. But that didn't happen either. Maybe a little too excited was Native as he was like, I got the pick, I'm running in, guys, and tried to call for the rest of the team to get on through. They end up winning the round, so good for Monsters Inc. They've sealed themselves on to match point now. Overture Gaming. They've got some serious clawing back to do, and they're going to try their first attempt here at Aviator Games. Or their first attempt at clawing back at Aviator Games.
Once again, a northward extension. Overture Gaming had a pretty good formula last time, and they're bringing the exact same operators. Now they're going to have to capitalize on their positioning this time a little bit better. Yes, they managed to find 2 picks off of the 90 window, but after that, that was about it. They just kind of took all their players and put them towards study side and never executed, even with aggressive swing by Sta, one that probably wasn't expected on that side, but one that maybe they should expect a little bit more. In any case, Overture Gaming, Monsters Inc. Has an opportunity here to win out this round pretty handedly.
Well, Overture Gaming definitely need to win this round. They want to come away with potentially a win out of this matchup. Monsters Inc., though, they look like the stronger team so far this match. They're rated just one position above Overture on the standings, just I think 1 round better in their round differential, and that's why they're matched up here. But they've looked like a way better team than Overture, and that's kind of where we're at right now. A lot of stuns to go through, maybe Zofia concussive impacts as well. Plenty of burn coming from the attackers as they clear out something on the main stairs. Snoopy, though, will bring down natives, so 1 attacker less for Monsters Inc. to make themselves win this map.
It is not possible to win a gunfight while jumping through that window. I have to question that decision, but beyond that, we still have a round in front of us. 5 players on the defense to 4 on the attack, and yes, they managed to find this player and they're attempting to isolate them. Monsters Inc. has a really good opportunity here, and being able to distract him, that's huge. Sta managed to find the pick back, and that's going to be enough to even up the man count. They have lost a set of nades, but Evil Cloud still with 2 in their pocket is hopefully going to be able to fill in a little bit for that. They do still have a player on the main stairs to worry about, and a little bit of vertical interplay. But that's not going to be enough to completely deter them from attempting to make this push up main, and this is going to be an important key moment during the round. If they manage to take control of this top area, which they have, that allows them a whole line of pressure that they can provide horizontally directly towards the site. And hopefully, especially with these nades coming out below, they'll be able to clean up some of these flares and apply enough pressure just to make it more difficult for Overture Gaming move around or find any sort of picks.
Well, a lot of damage to ring out here between Placata and Dunny. Dunny will take the worst for wear, though, in that engagement. Slinky will trade their eyesight for damage on the Sta, as they've been brought down to just 1 or 2 bullets to eventually fall to the grave. Sta, though, making this entry on in, will pre-fire around the corner. Snows, though, on the other side. This take up the red stairs is not going too well for the attackers. Clouds will bring down 1, but Snows again able to bring down Placata. And all of a sudden, Site Control has been alerted to the attack, but Dunny and Snows, both with picks of their own, will get this retake. The diffuser dropped down in vault, and therefore, Overture, they take a round. Monsters Inc., they went too far on into the bomb site. They got too antsy and aggressive, lost that diffuser control trying to get those frags, and Overture steal away around, putting themselves 1 round closer to tying it.
A very close round once again on Aviator Games, but this time one where we saw a decisive decision by Monsters Inc. Didn't quite work out in their favor. I think simply for the fact that they didn't attempt to plant. They had the control that they needed if they really wanted to start attempting to plant, but having the players move up red in through bar, it seemed unnecessary, and ultimately they were able to pick off the attackers one by one.
Things fell short there for Monsters Inc., but they've got a couple rounds to play with. Obviously, they've given themselves quite the advantage, being up 3 rounds on match point, now just 2, but still have extra rounds to play with. Overture, on the other hand, you don't. You've got 2 rounds you have to win. You're in a must-win scenario. You have to flawlessly complete a defensive rotation, which can be tough. Now, Villa is definitely a map where it can be done, and we've seen it plenty of times before where teams have thrown away leads and advantages, such as Monsters Inc. has right now, but Trophy Statuary, the next bomb site for them to defend, and this is definitely one where they could easily snag another win, setting themselves just 1 round away from tying it and sending us to overtime.
Monsters Inc. has made an aggressive play, that aggressive take here. They're already in China. That's going to be huge if they manage to find the positioning of these players. They have 2 sets of nades below. If 2 of those depth charges collide, that's a huge advantage in the favor of the attackers. Now this time, they are going to have to make sure they don't give up control of Master as they start their execute. There is going to be a bit of a counter press here by the defenders as they drop down on the south side of the map in order to hopefully look for another retake, but hopefully Monsters Inc. is at least a little bit prescient, able to deny that from completely dismantling this vertical push.
Native will throw a nade from below there, not to find anyone though, not even the mute jammer on that triple wall, so that utility to deny any sort of opening up of that triple wall will no longer be removed. But again, no hard breach being ran by Monsters Inc., and you have to question that decision being made by them. They're already being punished as Snoopy on the bottom floor here has taken down Evil Clouds, but Clouds could still be recovered. They've got teammates in the area and will do just that. Native on that revival spree as they would pick Clouds back up, and a nade will be saved at that.
At this point, nothing more than slowing them down, but with a minute and 15 seconds, that might be all it takes on the side of the defenders. The ability for the attackers to convert their pressure from the bottom floor to the top floor is severely hampered so long as Alibi is downstairs, and even if they manage to let them start making this pressure more vertical, it might be a wise decision for Snoopy to remain down here. He has the opportunity to go for an aggressive play later in the round, and for now, Monsters Inc. is just making their way up these Astro stairs. There are 3 players on there and a player in bathroom. They are fighting for this Astro position. And Snoopy, there it is. The triple kill walks up behind them and finds all 3. You have 3 players on those stairs, and not one of them is watching your flank. There is an opportunity for HUD to bring it back, though. Finds one. Snoopy quite comfortable sitting down below Astro, and with 2 defenders still on the site, there's really not a whole lot that he needs to do, especially if he's going to be dropping HUD in any case, leaving Sta, the lone up member, has an opportunity to pick up Soph, but not without some aggression coming out. Yes, Sta is pushing Snoopy, but he's going to run out of bullets. He pulls out the pistol, and it's not going to be enough. Snoopy finds the ace off of managing 1 flank. Every single kill that he got was on the Astro stairs, 3 of them in under a second. Wow.
It's not common that you see someone get an ace from one area on the map, let alone a stairwell. But Snoopy stairs for now on will be that call out, as Snoopy has claimed their ground and Overture has claimed another round due to the benefit of Snoopy, who's going absolutely nuclear right now in this match. I believe 14 or 15 kills to their name right now. Really pulling Overture through in this lobby. Yes, 15 and 8. So Snoopy really doing the damage there on the Monsters Inc. Snows as well, big time on the scoreboard. The rest of Overture, maybe not as much, but the support staff hasn't been bad overall in the match. Overture, we have 1 round away from completing this comeback and sending us into overtime, and well, right now they're on a roll. Monsters Inc., on the other hand, maybe not so much. The momentum game certainly in favor of Overture, and let alone the hot-handed gun of Snoopy.
Yeah, that round, that's what we call a shocker in the industry. Monsters Inc. is going to have solid iron mentals if they want to be pulling this through. However, a little bit of a conversation with their team could be all they need to bring this to the end of the match. Alternatively, as you mentioned, Overture Gaming has an opportunity to bring this to overtime, and they're looking to do that, hopefully. What they are hoping for right now is that they don't get a little bit overzealous, or in the very least, that Snoopy manages to stay alive for the duration of the round and finds a couple picks. But just like last time, plenty of intel on the side of Overture Gaming, and they're going to be looking to take advantage of that, just in the form of knowing how this push is going to look and where to position their player.
Well, minutes almost started crumbled off the board, and the attack still slow as ever. It seems it's been that way so far here on Villa between these two teams. Really slow and stagnant attacks. As finally, some of those rappel lines go on through, and you'll hear the attackers zip on up to the master balcony. Clouds trying to take this first engagement. Native grabbing plenty of information for their team on where the defenders may be, where some of that gadgetry may be hanging around. Slinky tries to throw a C4 onto the player on the Astro Stairs, but it will not land. It actually gets shot out by Placata, so the Lion will remain with control on the Astro Stairs. One of the first attacking rounds that finally a hard breach has been brought by Monsters Inc. So maybe electing to make some better choices here, but half of the round is already ticked away and no action as of yet.
Only 3 drones left on the side of Monsters Inc. as well, so there's going to be a lot of map control that they have to take, and this is very similar to the situation that they ended up in last time. They opted for an aggressive push, and while it did work out in that situation, Overture might be a little bit more prepared this time. They're looking to find a little bit of damage before they commit to this, but with no drones, there's not going to be a whole lot of options. Nose finds the first, but they're aware of this player moving in.
Well,
the nade comes out, and that's a beautiful nade. Not quite going to be enough to finish out Dunny, but it does give HUD a little bit of an opportunity to continue providing pressure. Now, in a 5v4, Monsters Inc. still has a minute to make something happen.
Well, that nade will land just a little past Dunning, and Dunny, not done yet. Get some revenge there. On the side will bring down the hard breacher for Monsters Inc. as Snows will lose their life over picking down below, but the Overture defense definitely remaining strong. Snoopy's still alive, and obviously they've been lighting up the scoreboard ever since. Slinky no C4 in pocket as they've already used it in the round as 30 seconds remains. Pool, though, will fall down to the ground and eventually finish off. Native able to bring down Snoopy as well. So things have flipped on its head for Monsters Inc. All of a sudden, they're in control. They're bring down the rest of the Overture defense as the Overture defense don't just stand flipping still, Yali. And they don't stand still. They run around, and Monsters Inc. ends up taking the map win 7-5. They'll propel themselves to 3-1 in the bracket. And, well, going into day 2, they put themselves with a pretty good barrier and ever closer to making close calls.
Yeah, I will say a much closer match, but a lot of it didn't come out of team player coordination or anything along those lines. A lot of it came from hero plays, especially on the side of Overture Gaming, both Snoopy and excuse me, yeah, 2 of their players just really making some gorgeous plays. And while we love to see that, ultimately Monsters Inc. was able to do just a little bit more consistent of a job, and that finished it out 7-5 in their favor.
Things fell short for Overture Gaming, but that's going to be it for us for the B stream here for SCS Quals. I believe the A stream just wrapped things up and they're waiting on us to finish on out. So day 1 complete, qualifier number 2. Thanks to everyone here that's been able to make this happen. Phoenix Blaze, Nova, Sirius joined me at match earlier. We had some casters on the B stream earlier. Thanks to them. Yali obviously joining me here. Zay producing. Thanks to everyone that's been able to make this happen for SCS. The other streams as well. Thanks to those guys who've been rocking it over there. That's going to be it, though, for us for tonight. You'll see me back tomorrow on the A stream, and I think Yali could be stepping in for the B stream potentially if we need some extra help. We'll see. But other than that, it's going to start at the exact same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. East. We'll see you guys back tomorrow for day number 2.
On a double